Welcome, everyone. This is a regular meeting of the San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District Board of Trustees. Today being Monday, May 16th, 2022. I'll call this meeting to order. Madam Secretary will call roll.
Yes, sir. Mr. Contreras?
Present.
Ms. Guanajuato-Webb?
Present.
Ms. Haynes?
Here.
Mr. Mesa?
Here.
Mr. Overfelt?
Present.
Mr. Smith?
Present.
Myself. Sir, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Let the record show that we do have a quorum of board members and that this meeting has been duly called in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. At this time, we will have opening ceremonies, first with a moment of silence for personal reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. This evening we have a special presentation, again in regard to the 50th anniversary of our consolidation. We have a third video that had been produced, so at this time we will watch the video. Rolling sound.
Our school districts consolidated and became one. Since then, so much growth, learning, and progress has been made. It makes you wonder, where are we headed next? Well, this story is about the next chapter, our era, and what the next 50 years is starting to look like today.
My name is Lauren Cardenas. I've been a math teacher here at Del Rio High School for 8 years, and I'm also the co-head robotics coach.
My name is Rocio Faz, and I have worked for SFDR for 20 years. My responsibilities include to guide students to graduate on time with their high school diploma, but with early college, I also guide them to graduate with college hours leading up to an associate's degree.
I'm Ricardo Rios, and I am the head band director and fine arts coordinator for SFDR.
My name's William Davis. I am extremely fortunate to be a teacher at the CTE Center. I teach classes related to science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
My name is French McCrae Jr., and I am the director of athletics for the school district.
I've known a lot about consolidation. My parents, one went to Del Rio High School and one went to San Felipe High School. And they were both in high school when consolidation happened. So growing up, I heard everything about all the craziness of it. And to know today where the high school is at, where everyone was able to come together, it's inspiring. Just in the past 10 years, school spirit, I feel, has come a long way. I graduated from Del Rio High School in 2010. And just from then to now, it's been great seeing the support that the community has, not just for the football team, but for all of our programs. I see everyone coming out for soccer, for basketball, for baseball. For robotics, we have a huge backing as well. So to see the community come together for our programs, it's exciting to see how that will continue over the next 50 years.
The change in the classroom that I see today compared to years ago really revolves around technology. You know, our kids are still kids. They still want to play with toys one day and be adults the next day in class. But the thing they always have is the devices, whether it's a desktop computer provided by the teacher or their little handful of knowledge in their cell phone. So, or a handful of facts, maybe you should say. But I feel like the biggest change is the use of technology in the classroom.
I think recently, Early College High School being a new program that was established in 2016 has been a movement into new programs, new opportunities that that are available to students to further their education. So what we provide here at Early College is students to earn up an associate's degree for those that are first generation or otherwise would not seek taking college courses in high school. Having those students at early college and having them graduate and reach that associate's degree is something very, very rewarding because they were given this opportunity, even, them being not too sure, but with the motivation that teachers provide, the connections that we build with them, the communication that we have with the parents and the students, it's made that a possibility for them to earn their college hours and graduate with an associate's degree. So that opportunity has just been amazing, and it's a very effective program, and we hope to grow in the future.
I guess I would more think of it in terms of our kids in our department. In 2016 was the very first time that our high school marching band made 10th place, and so it qualified us to go into the finals for the first time ever. And I think from that point on, we started getting the wheels turning, and we were able to just become very competitive. And then 2 years ago, we were actually in the state marching contest. And so, that was something that was incredible for our students to be able to experience. We were at the Alamo Dome. We were one of 18 bands from the state of Texas to be there. And all of that would not have been possible without all the support of our administration and our school board to help us get to that point and provide that type of opportunity for our students.
The change at the high school has been drastic. I was privy enough to come to this high school and graduate from this high school, and now I walk through the halls and it looks completely different, which is great. And even in athletics, our future plans and the things that we've been doing involved in it has been awesome. So the change has been great, and I know for a fact that we are going to continue to change, that we're not getting complacent in where we're at right now, but each and every year we're trying and we're striving to improve on what we've already accomplished and what we've already built. And I'm excited, I can't say that enough. I'm excited to see where we're headed and how quickly we can get there and what this is going to look like in a couple of years.
Years from now, I see the district moving towards maybe building more academies, especially like in the science, STEM fields.
We're going to keep seeing that community growing, embracing what we have here at the high school, and encouraging our students to know that the limits are endless. The possibilities are endless for what they can achieve.
Our district is going to be wherever our current students take us. Our current students are going to be the leaders, the politicians. They're going to be the decision makers 50 years from now.
But I can only imagine how far CT will go. I can only imagine how our high school will look. I can only imagine how our junior high and our elementaries are going to look in the next 5 to 10 years.
Making our students global thinkers and be able to just tackle on and take the world on.
In 50 years from now, I see the school district being one of the most competitive school districts in the entire state. We've certainly made a whole lot of gains just in the last 10 years. We have an early college high school. We have a CTE center. We never had to answer on what representation from what part of the city the student body was going to come from. We focused on the needs of the students. 50 years from now, that potential is going to be realized to even higher levels.
I see a magnet school, for example, in the next 50 years that hopefully will have health occupations. And then, of course, there are areas that we need to look at, like cybersecurity. We have Laughlin as one of the biggest resources here in our community. And I also see other magnet schools, for example, sometimes in broadcasting, we have a great media program, and what a great thing to have a magnet school for broadcasting and video and recordings and such.
Teaching the kids, giving them the opportunities to solve problems now and make the right decision based on, goodness, and, just what's right, will help forge the future for this district.
Special thanks to everyone that was involved. I know Mr. Orfeld had a lot to do with narrating that. Reno and his department and everyone else involved. Again, has been an incredible journey, and the results have been great. We look forward to a very bright future in the coming years. Thank you again. Go on to our next item that we have on the agenda. We have item 5, canvassing of the San Felipe Del CISD School Board election held on May 7, 2022. Sandra Hernandez.
Good evening, Mr. Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. The Board of Trustees election for Place 1, Place 3, Place 4, and Place 5 was held on Saturday, May 7, 2022. In accordance with Texas election laws, the canvass cannot occur until the early voting ballot has verified and counted all provisional and mail-in ballots. The canvassing of the San Felipe Del Rio CISD School Board election today meets all required statutes. We have received the following detailed summary, which you have in front of you at your dais, of the election results indicating the total number of votes received for each candidate by precinct. Each summary includes the total number of votes received through early voting, in person, early voting by mail, and the number of votes received on election day. And if you would turn to page 3, In your packet, I'm going to read the results. For San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees, place 1, Jesus Emilio Galindo, 1,530 votes total. And you'll see the breakdown for the absentee votes, 106, early voting, 1,085, election day, 311, plus 28 mail-in ballots. Mr. Ken Smith, 1,185 votes. The absentee votes were 72, early voting, 830, election day, 274, plus an additional 9 mail-in ballots. For San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees, place 3, Lindsay M. Mitchell, 1,029. Absentee, 555. Early voting, 735. Election day, 229, plus 10, which brings to the 1,029. Linda Guanajuato Webb, 1,677 total votes. Absentee, 123. Early voting, 1,187. Election day, 340, plus 27 mail-in ballots. For San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees, place 4, Raymond P. Mesa, 1,838. Absentee ballots, 132. Early voting, 1,293. Election day, 386, plus an additional 27 mail-in ballots. Ms. Melanie Kidd, total canvass 881 votes. 52 were absentee, 635 early voting, 185 election day, plus 9 mail-in ballots. And on the next page, page 4, Rebecca Becky Luna Chavez, total votes 1,491, absentee 128, early voting 1,021, election day 316, plus an additional 26 mail-in ballots. Mr. Hugo Tadeo Sanchez, total number of votes 1,166, 46 absentee votes, 865 early voting, 244 on election day, plus 11 additional during the canvass. Mr. Mesa, at this time, it is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the summary of the school board election results held on May 7, 2022, as presented by the ballot board.
Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Motion made by Ms. Gonzalez, seconded by Mr. Smith. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Votes have been canvassed.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to thank all the candidates. I know that they weathered the lots of weather, rain, and what have you, wind and everything. So I would like to thank them for their willingness to come forward and to be a school board member.
Absolutely. We have a couple of plaques for the outgoing board members. In appreciation for your service to the San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District, by word and deed, your presence has been enriched has enriched the lives of students and served as an example for all. One for Mr. Fred Contreras and another one for Mr. Ken Smith. Okay, next item we have is item 6, statement of officer and oath, newly elected officer Sandra Hernandez.
Good evening once again, Mr. Mesa. At this time, I'd like to invite and welcome our judge, Mr. Sergio Gonzalez, to step forward.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to be here this afternoon. It's a privilege to be here. And for the outgoing members, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for the desire to be here and make decisions for the benefit of our community and our children and our teachers and our administration. So thank you so much. The current members, thank you again for your efforts, your time, to help this community, the school district, teachers, students, parents, and so forth. I was asked to be here for the oath for the new members, but before I provide them the oath, I wanted to let them know that, as you well know, all of you, the current board, that the decisions that you make today, tomorrow, are going to affect these children, the school district, the administration, the teachers, the parents, and everyone else in our community, not only today, tomorrow, but for generations to come. Having said that, I want to thank you for your efforts. Again, thank you for your responsibilities and your decisions that you're about to make in the future. Thank you so much. We're ready.
The elected candidates to please step forward to the stage with me and the judge. I can invite all 4 board members, newly elected board members, and re-elected board members to please step forward. Judge will join me.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Mr. Galindo. I'm going to provide you with this document that I want you to read from, and I want you to speak into the mic, please. Please raise your right hand and follow the statement.
I, Jesus Emilio Galindo, do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Raise your right hand. Why don't you just repeat after me? In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
In the name and of the authority of the state of Texas,
I, Jesus Emilio Galindo,
I, Jesus Emilio Galindo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of
San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District,
San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District,
Board of Trustees, Place 1,
Board of Trustees, Place 1,
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Felicidades.
Thank you. Thank you,
Congratulations,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
It's okay.
I want you to please read, well, first of all, you're going to read this statement. I want you to speak into the mic and read the statement, please. Raise your right hand. Go on.
Thank you. I, Linda Guanajuato Webb, do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or things of value, or promised any public office or employment for giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be, so help me God. Thank you, sir.
I want you to please raise your right hand and repeat after me the oath. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
In the name and the authority of the state of Texas,
I,
I,
Linda Guanajuato Webb,
Linda Guanajuato Webb,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District,
San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District,
Board of Trustees,
Board of Trustees,
Place 3,
Place 3,
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bendiciones.
Gracias.
Mr. Mesa, it's a privilege to provide you with a statement. Thank you for your service to this community. If you would be so kind to please raise your right hand and read the statement. Go on, answer.
I, Raymond P. Mesa, do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, or promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure appointment or confirmation, whichever the case might be, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mesa, if you would be so kind to please raise your right hand and repeat after me the oath of office. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
In the name and the authority of the state of Texas,
I, Raymond P. Mesa,
Raymond P. Mesa,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
San Felipe Del Rio
San Felipe Del Rio
Consolidated Independent School District
Consolidated Independent School District
Board of Trustees,
Board of Trustees,
Place 4,
Place 4
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Felicidades, bendiciones.
Thank you.
Oh, I better swear that. I'm gonna sign that. There we go. If you would kindly read this statement back, please. But at the same time, I need for you to raise your right hand. I can hold this document for you.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Raise your right hand and repeat the statement.
I, Rebecca Becky Luna Chavez, do solemnly swear or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public or office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment to, or confirmation, whichever the case may be, so help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bendiciones. Felicidades. If you would be so kind, I'll hold the document so you can sign here, please.
Okay.
I want you to please raise your right hand and repeat after me. Excuse me. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
I, Rebecca Becky Luna Chavez,
I, Rebecca Becky Luna Chavez,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of
the duties of
San Felipe Del Rio
San Felipe Del Rio
Consolidated Independent School District
Consolidated Independent School District
Board of Trustees,
Board of Trustees,
Place 5
Place 5
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Felicidades.
Gracias. That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
Honorable Judge Gonzalez, in my 15 years on the board, we have never had a judge come before us, so it makes it very official. We're honored for your presence here tonight, sir.
Well, I am honored to be here. Grew up in this community, as you well know. I've known you since I was a little kid. And you have to think ahead of time of what's going to happen down the road. And the administration, the school board, the teachers have all done their part, and the counselors, and the students, of course, which we cannot forget. So thank you for everything that everybody does. It's a blessing to be here.
Thank you.
It's really, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Rios, thank you so much as well.
So a couple of closing comments for, 6 years at this district. It's been an honor to serve the district, the community. There's been a lot of accomplishments that a team of 8 have done collectively, and I've been honored to be part of that. When you look back over the few years, you saw some of it on the video. Early college, CTE, the improvements in the high school, the base school, the new Northside campuses coming up. Proud of all of those activities. This board has taken, and with Dr. Rios' leadership, taken this district to a new level. And you see it in the ratings that the district has come up and increased over the multiple years that I've been a part of it. Very proud of being a part of that, very proud of being part of Del Rio and San Felipe Independent Consolidated School District. Thank you so much.
Well, he took everything I wanted to say. What can I say? Like him, I'm very proud and privileged to be here and serve the community, serve part of a group, an awesome group, quite honestly. And those of you that have served or thinking of serving, this is a group to be with. I'm very proud for everything we accomplished together as a board, as a team of 8. And I want to thank you, first of all, for electing me here 4 years ago. Thank you. Thank you for being with me and being together, united as a board. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Once again, we give thanks to the outgoing board members that have made a big difference in our district here and welcome our new board members on board. Our next item we have on our agenda is the organization of the Board of Trustees, election of officers, item 7 on the agenda. And this time, we'll ask for motions beginning with President, Mr. Orfeld.
Mr. Mesa, I believe you're doing a fine job as president, and therefore I make the motion for you to continue as president from here.
Thank you, Mr. Orfeld. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Amy Haynes. Motion made by Mr. Orfeld, seconded by Amy Haynes. Thank you very much. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. For the office of Vice President, I'll take nominations from the floor. Mrs. Webb,
I would like to nominate Ms. Gonzalez for Vice President.
okay, there's a nomination for Ms. Gonzalez for Vice President. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Becky Luna Chavez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. For the office of Secretary, I'll take nominations. Becky?
I would like to nominate Linda Guanajuato-Webb.
Okay, there's a nomination for Linda Guanajuato-Webb. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Galindo. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. We have our officers. Congratulations. As is customary, we're going to allow our newly elected board members to have a few minutes to say something. Again, most of the time, you want to let us know where you work, your family, or, again, your interest on the board. So this time, we'll give you the floor. I'll start with Becky Chavez.
You want to know what?
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and again, a lot of people don't know the background that you
Okay.
have.
Okay. Is this on? Yes. Okay, so I'm Becky Chavez, or Rebecca Luna Chavez, as everyone calls me Becky, so I'm known by Becky. I'm married to Dr. Leo Chavez, and we have 3 adult children. I'm a former educator, retired after 30 years. I did work with special needs, bilingual, and out of the country, also for 4 years. So I'm very well aware, or hope to be more aware of our students this year. As I understand, we're coming to it's a changing world. And so I'm here hopefully to make decisions that will benefit all our students and our school personnel and also our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Galindo?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jesus Emilio Galindo. I'm married to Yvette Galindo and have 2 wonderful children. Emily, who is a 3rd grader at Buena Vista Elementary, and I have a 3-year-old, Madeline Galindo. I am currently employed with the Del Rio Police Department. I am a patrol sergeant and previously have served as a criminal investigator and currently president of the Del Rio Police Officers Association. Primarily, my goal here is just to assist with the progression that has been done with this board and with this leadership, and to become a board member, to be intuitive and creative, and to make sure that we're here for every single student, every single teacher, and every single person who is personnel here. And when we talk about leading everyone, we lead all students and all staff, and that's what we're hoping to accomplish and continue on the great work that has been here in our local school district. Many thanks to the supporters and everybody who came out and encouraged people to come out and vote, and encourage the people to run, because it takes a lot to be able to run, whether you win or lose. Everybody who signs up is always a winner at the end of the day. Just real quick, if I may, to Mr. Smith, many thanks to his years that he was here. Wish him all the best. Very respectable individual, and I do wish him all the best. But from here on out, we look forward to working with you. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you, and make myself available to y'all if y'all ever have any questions or concerns. That's what we're here for, to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we will not give that privilege to the ones that have been here before. I think you know all about us already. We'll continue with the agenda. Next item we have is item 11, reports, facilities and construction update. Israel Carrera.
Good Good evening, Board President Mesa, Dr. Reels, members of the board. I'll give you an update on the facilities and construction. We have 3 Del Rio Freshman Campus and the Life Skills renovations, the Ceniza Hills Elementary project, and the roofing contract, which are non-TPO and TPO. Starting with the Life Skills renovations, as you can see here, we've completed about 95% of the exterior siding, fascia, and soffit. On the interior, we're about 95% completed the interior framing. Also, sometime this week, we hope to get an inspection on the framing and the plumbing. On the Ceniza Hills Elementary Campus, we continue to put the joist up. We start expecting about 2 loads of joist to arrive to install the rest of those. We have those started the outside framing of the Ceniza Hills, and we're hoping to, as soon as those get in, get busy on the rest of the framing. The non-TPO roofing, you see here, this is Cardwell Elementary. This is the cafeteria area, the sitting area. That is complete. However, they didn't complete the, you can see the air conditioner, that's where the kitchen is at, and they still lack about 1,200 square feet to finish that campus off. They did have some questions about that, and Mr. Chapa is working with the contractor to make sure that they get that done. They forgot to do that part, the 1,200 square foot in the kitchen area. On the SPC, the TPO roofing, we're about 99% on TPO. We should be finished sometime this week. The only thing is that we're having a hard time finding the tile to match what we have up there, and that's the only thing we'll be lacking at this place. Also, the other non-TPO that we have is the San Felipe Memorial Middle School, and that's the same thing. It's the tile roofing, and we're having some issues finding a match to match those tile there. Any questions?
Any questions from board members? Mr. Overfelt?
On this particular building, I know last week when we were having the heavy rainstorms, I had seen some video of water coming into the building. Is it all going to be rectified with the TPO, or was that, or what's going on up there? Was that where it was leaking? Was that areas they had not hit yet, or was the new roof there and it's already permeated the building?
Mr. Overfelt, Mr. Mesa, if I may, all the leaking was taken care of with the new roofing. There was some leaking here on the stage, and that was taken care of. However, most of the rain that came in is, because of the area of town we live in, the ground shifts a lot. So the windows have become unsealed, and that's just something that because of again, the water tables being so high here, from time to time, and by time to time, I mean years, it'll shift. And so they had to reseal the windows, but that's been taken care of.
Okay, so it was windows had come out of alignment as
Yes,
the
sir.
building had settled?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Overfelt. Anyone else? Israel, the only question I have is, I know the early college high school had the roofing done as well. And I think the only thing that was not completed was all the awnings around. Was that finally completed?
I think so, yeah. I'll double check, but I believe those were complete. I think.
Dr. Reed?
Yeah, no, it was completed, sir. We're 100% done there.
Okay, because I know that there were the outside facing metal piece that was missing.
Yes, sir, they did complete those.
Okay, all right. We'll go on to the technology or maintenance. Any other question? Okay, we'll go on to the.
Just a
the
short
maintenance-
report on the work orders.
Yes.
On the maintenance department, on the 30-day, they're up 107. For the 60-day, they're up 19. And for their 90, they're down 135 for 94% completion rate. For technology, they're up 54 on the 30-day, up 7 on the 60-day, and down 31 on the 90-day for a 99% completion rate. For transportation, on the 30-day, they're up 10. On the 60-day, they're down 1, and they're down 8 on the 90-day for a 98 completion rate.
Questions from board members? Israel, next year we're expected to do all the STAR testing online. Did we have any glitches so far this year? Dr. Rios?
Mr. Russell, we had some campuses that did start testing 100% online, and it went out super smooth. Specifically, Ruben Chavira Elementary and North Heights Elementary completed all of their start testing online. At Del Rio Middle School, one level did online and the other level didn't. Nobody had any glitches. The system was able to sustain all the computers that came on at the same time. We're prepared for next year. We're prepared for this year. We had a whole lot of success. There should not be any glitches at all.
Okay, what would happen in the event of an electrical shutdown complete in the middle of the testing?
Mr. Mesa, should that happen, the state would have to allow for the makeup days. Now, again, we test on a window of testing. So any testing that isn't done on any day, it's not a fixed day. We don't have to do math on that day. You know, we could do it in that window. So as long as any error would be taken care of that day, or even the next day, we would still be okay.
Okay, because it's happened in the past where, you know, we have either an accident that occurs and then we have electricity going out for a certain number of hours. I just, with the expectations of next year being all online, I just, you know, wondered if we have a backup system. But I guess we could take it the following day or make.
If I may add, the computers that the board approved to be purchased, they work very well with the testing system. And that's what our students mainly use. So it was very successful, and we feel we're 1 year ahead of those that didn't participate.
Dr. Rios, and just to ask, that window of flexibility for the computers in case they were going down, what's that window of flexibility? Is it a week, 2 weeks, or?
Ida, show me the number of fingers of the testing window that we have. 10-day testing window, we're good.
Okay. And I just, my other question has to deal with, in regard to technology and, you know, those campuses, I'm glad that they did it online because everybody else is going to have to do them online next year. Is the results will be immediate?
We tested last week, Mr. Mesa. We expect results this Monday, 1 week later. We hope to get them over the weekend so we can have time to digest them and share them with everybody. But it's almost immediate.
So those results will be only the ones that took it online?
No, sir. We should
Everyone?
have
Wow.
100% of the results.
That's a big difference from previous years. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll go on to the next item, item 11B, bilingual restructure. Ida Gomez.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. Administration has been sharing and presenting reports throughout the year that has addressed the learning loss that our students are experiencing across the district, across the state, across the country. One of those subpopulations is our bilingual ESL population. Administration is very aware that a change, a restructure is needed. We currently serve a little over 1,800 bilingual ESL students in the district. Tonight's report is a proposed plan of action for the restructure of the bilingual department and how to best support the campuses from kinder through high school. Tonight's presentation, you do have a copy at your seat, We'll discuss the current program structure, the proposed restructure, the purpose of the restructure, and we've included even a sample lesson plan of how the department would turn around and support our bilingual ESL teachers to then deliver the instruction to the students. I'm going to start with the current structure. We have a campus. At the campuses, we have 4 bilingual academies. We do have 8 elementary, kinder through 5th grade campuses, but we have 4 that are bilingual academies, which would be Buena Vista Elementary, Dr. Lonnie Green, Garfield Elementary, and Ruben Chavita Elementary. Those 4 campuses have a strategist, one person assigned to their campus that helps all of the bilingual teachers that teach at that campus. In addition, we have the 4 strategists at the bilingual academies, but in addition, we have 2 at the secondary levels, one at San Felipe Memorial Middle School and one at Del Rio Freshman School. The department, who has a new interim bilingual director standing next to me, Ms. Karen Schaefer, it's her. She has 1 bilingual coordinator for K-12, and she has 1 compliance coordinator. Because the bilingual program is funded through federal funds, the compliance is every 6 weeks. It's just, it starts in the summer and it goes through the year. So the compliance is very deep for that department. That was the current structure. What administration, and speaking with principals and speaking with teachers and trying to make a decision as to what the best route would be, the proposed restructure would look something like what's in front of you. If you look over at the blue side, the curriculum coordinator, that one that we have, pretty much focuses on the 4 bilingual academies at this time. And the 4 strategists that are at the bilingual academies currently, they're in blue, assist those teachers and aides. So throughout the year, they'll get a training, they'll take it back to the campus, they train teachers and aides who then roll it out. Everything that you see in yellow is the restructuring or the changes that are being recommended. First of all, we have 4 non-bilingual academies. Those bilingual academies do not have anybody to service the bilingual students who are currently there. We're recommending 1 strategist to assist those campuses. Most of the teachers at those 4 non-academies, if they're not going to have a bilingual certification, but they might have an ESL certification. Again, ESL, when you go through that program, it's a lot of strategies, activities, and proven research-based interventions that can be done. In yellow. In 6th through 8th, we don't have a coordinator that would help, so we are proposing 1 coordinator to help our middle schools. She would focus on 6th, 7th, and 8th, and under her there would be 2 strategists that would assist, delivering any trainings, delivering any information back to the campuses. If you look in the middle here, under 6th through 8th grade, we do have 1 currently at the 6th grade, but we have over 1,600 students at the middle school that do not have any support at this time. Of course, they're not all bilingual students, but it is a big campus. So we are proposing to hire 1. Finally, our 9th through 12th grade students, we do not have a curriculum coordinator. As mentioned earlier, we have 1 for the entire district. There is a strategist, and she is stationed at Del Rio Freshman School. She does help our bilingual students at Del Rio Freshman. It bottlenecks there with a lot of students coming in. But we have 10th through 12th graders with very little support. So we are asking or recommending that we hire 1 more strategist at the high school. Now, when we think about the work that has to be done, we think about 1, strengthening the curriculum department to be able to support teachers and students. We talk about the development of resources and materials that would support that effective instruction. We have a great planning protocol set, but how do we differentiate the need for our bilingual students, those who need to acquire the language? We have teacher development through staff development. We know that teachers, once they learn something, they can deliver it. We just don't have the staff right now to actually provide the trainings. The coordinators would provide routine trainings, and by that we mean recommend a minimum of twice a month. That would be a minimum. At some campuses, the elementary ones, some of our strategists are currently doing one per week, let's say every Thursday. So that routine staff development is really helping the teachers. The instructional aides would be trained so that they could take over whenever a teacher has to go out for a training, let's say 2 to 3 hours in the morning. The instructional aides could take over if we team them up accordingly and we train them so that we're not looking for subs and instruction would continue. And finally, the campus strategist will work directly with students. So if you had a strategist at a campus, they would be assigned students that it would work directly with. They would provide support, building background knowledge, and improving vocabulary, and increased reading fluency, decoding strategies, and our TELPUS. We need to improve, we need to promote listening, reading, writing, and speaking opportunities for our bilingual ESL students. So when you look at this plan of action here in front, you'll see that we are proposing 9 strategists. We currently have 6. So we would add 1 to the non-academies. This is the bottom row right here. 1 to the non-academies, 1 to Del Rio Middle School 7th and 8th, and 1 to Del Rio High School 10th through 12th. In addition, the plan would include 4 coordinators. We currently have 1. The proposal would recommend 1 curriculum coordinator for the 4 non-academies, 1 curriculum coordinator for our middle schools, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and 1 curriculum coordinator for 9th through 12th. We also have to remember that we have students at SGLC and at Blended Academy, and sometimes when we think 9th through 12th, we think just the high school, but we do have early college, the Blended Academy, and SGLC, who currently serve our bilingual students as well. The lesson plan here in front of you, this is the lesson plan that the district does use. Ms. Karen Schaefer and her team have been working for 2 years now, developing and making sure all our lesson plans are very equitable, very much the same throughout the district. But everything in green, you're going to see applies to our bilingual students. So the language targets that are here, they want to add learning targets to reading, to writing, to phonics. On the next sheet, you'll see, again, all the language objectives. So a teacher is going to come into the lesson and tell a student how they're going to learn, but for our bilingual students, we have to add that language. How are we going to accelerate your language to make sure that not only do you understand what we're teaching you, but how will you know that you learned it? And the teachers actually read this, understand this, but the department is already starting, their very little department of Ms. Schaefer and 2 people, of adding all the green, which would be the lesson plans our teachers use. I'll go back to this chart and entertain any questions.
I'll ask board members, if you want to be recognized, raise your hand so I can call your name if you have a question. Any questions? Ms. Sorfeld?
You had mentioned that we just don't have the staff right now to do what we need to do. That's where I got that. So in rolling this new one out, this new idea, are we planning on or hoping to pull from internal? Hopefully we get individuals internally that are going to go in and apply for this, and then, of course, then do we run into the age-old thing of now we've created openings down below and stuff like that? Because is the idea to roll this out before we get into next school year?
Yes, sir, Mr. Overfelt. The plan is to have most, very possibly all of the positions filled with internal candidates. The difference is that this year we started working early with our principals on their master schedule. As I shared with y'all earlier, we were going to collapse the middle school schedule into a 6-period day. We've also looked at, by having a 6-period day, then you don't need 2 math teachers every day when we're doing double math. So we're looking at just being a whole lot more efficient while still meeting the needs of the students every day. That frees up positions so that we don't create positions to later create more vacancies. And we've been studying it for a while now.
Okay, good deal.
I have a question, and I know that the survey that was given to teachers recently, I saw the percentage of resources available for them, and that's one area that seemed to be quite low, that I'm given the resources that I need to do a proper job. And bilingual, there are materials, but for some reason teachers either don't get them or the principal perhaps doesn't know that they're available. I would hope that the bilingual director would be able to attend some of these either elementary conventions or secondary, to be able to bring back magazines to purchase resources for bilingual and ESL students.
Mr. Mesa, the great thing about this is that the curriculum coordinators, and to some extent the strategists, although the strategists are going to work directly with students these coming years, but the coordinators in working with the director will look to embed all these resources that teachers select to purchase or they bring back from conferences directly into those documents. We'll go into those documents. So they're just one click away from the teacher's fingertips. So that is a big part of the goal.
I just hope that they're made available during the department meetings, because usually the excuse is they don't make bilingual materials, for either whatever subject area. And there are. The only thing is to bring those materials back so they can, the catalog, so they can purchase those items. So hopefully that happens.
Ms. Gomez, are those live links?
Yes.
Is there any resource you can click on for bilingual so we can demonstrate what our end goal
Oh,
is?
was this live or was it added? I think I snipped it. I can go to our live documents, Dr. Rose. I did want to point out right here, activities and strategies. This is brand new. We've never had this section at the corner where it says for a beginner, for intermediate, or for an advanced high student. And you'll see that it all comes from John Silitz, who has come to train our teachers and is a big guru over in the Austin, TA area. But I do not believe if I click on it, no, it won't show. But we can
That's
exit,
fine.
Dr. Rios?
No, that's fine. That's fine, ma'am. That
Okay,
wasn't
and
part
bring
of-
up the document.
Okay.
But yes, sir, and what they've been able to do, Mr. Mesa and board, is they've been able to link everything. It's a click. So everything that's underlined is a click. Teachers do not have to go and find it. It's clicked and it takes them right to it.
Okay.
I unfortunately copy and pasted this slide.
Okay. Anyone else? Ms. Webb?
Yeah, this is for Dr. Rios. Can you describe the program that we currently have? Are we going to a dual language program, a one-way immersion, two-way? What kind of a bilingual program are we currently in? And are we going to stay with this, or which way are we headed?
We're staying with the program. Now, maybe, I don't know if the question is coming because in our strategic development plan, we are going to have a dual language program but that's going to be by choice. So we will have both the dual language and then the one way with modifications for the students. But right now, we're not looking to change the program that we've had for probably forever, definitely the last 10 years. But we are looking to increase the offerings by offering a dual language program. I'm not saying the board hasn't seen the plan, but we're looking at a dual language program at Lamar and at Buena Vista. But we're going to see what the strategic plan members committee have as a final recommendation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Anyone else? Mr. Galindo?
Ms. Gomez, thank you for the presentation. I know you said a number earlier on, and you were talking about that y'all currently serve 1,800 here in the district. Where is the bulk of those students at? I thought I wanted to hear, maybe you all said about 1,500 or 1,600 there at the high school or the secondary level? Or, I mean, it doesn't have to be direct figures, but more or less, where's the bulk of it at?
No, sir. As a matter, I probably have the figure here on my phone, but the bulk of the students are at the bilingual academies.
Okay.
We place them at Buena Vista, Lonnie Green, Garfield, and Chavita. That's where our beginner and intermediate students are. Then a lot of students exit before they go on into middle school.
Okay.
But then the numbers are a little bit difficult and they stagnate, and that's where we need a whole lot of support. I'll share the numbers with you here in a little bit when I dig them out from one of my messages here. Let me see here. So I got it right here. In the academies, we have 50% of our bilingual students, and then the rest are spread through the non-academies and secondary.
But as of right now, there's just one at the San Felipe Memorial Middle School that takes care of 6th through 8th, and then again, one at the freshman, for the freshmen in the high school.
Strategist.
That's correct, Mr. Galindo, except that she's pretty much taking care of 6th. It's very difficult
Okay.
to leave the campus and go share.
Okay. Thank y'all for that information.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else?
I just have
Yes.
a question.
Becky?
I have a question, and just refresh me on this. On the bilingual in the elementary level, is it being taught in their first language first, the foundation of it?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, we have, it is a bilingual program, so we do have, our bilingual teachers do some instruction in Spanish, and then it tapers off as the kids progress through the program. That's the question that Ms. Webb asked, but she asked with a different term. But in the future, we do hope to have a dual language program where 50% is taught in English and 50% is taught in Spanish. But that's going to be an innovative program for students and parents who select their kids to participate in those programs.
Okay, so I missed that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, just a closing comment for the
Dr.
board,
Riz?
Mr. Mesa.
Mhm.
Last month, we presented our counseling plan, and today we're presenting our bilingual plan. Obviously, we're doing all this moving towards the budget. We don't know what the board is going to approve yet in the budget, but to get a head start, I just want to inform the board, we're going to post these jobs, but we understand that we're just posting them so that once we have the budget approved, if it is approved, we can make quick hires so that we can make plans over the summer. But we will not interview anyone until after the budget's approved. But unless I get moving on those counseling positions that we talked about at the last board meeting and some of these strategists, then we won't get to do the work over the summer to prepare for the coming year. It doesn't obligate the school district, doesn't obligate the board to hire for those positions, but should you approve a budget as recommended, we would just be that much further along and being able to hire. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Next item we have is reports. Item C, Term 5 attendance and discipline report. I think all of us have seen those reports in your book. Michelle Smith is here to answer any questions that you might have. While they're looking through there, I just want to add that there was significant improvement in attendance, which is, again, it's something that generates funds for our school. If the students are not here, our fund suffers, consequently with the absences. So there's been a big effort done from all the campuses to improve attendance, and I'm so glad to see that because it was declining for various reasons. COVID started the whole thing, and it seemed to students kind of get used to being at home, and so they took a lot of days off, and it's hard to bring them back, but it's improving quite a bit from the last term. I'll turn it over to anyone that has a question. Anyone on attendance? How about discipline? Discipline, it gets harder as second semester, especially middle school and beyond. I know that as the days get warmer, it seems like students become more active and start getting out of hand. But that's when administrators and everyone else involved gets involved with discipline to make sure the students are orderly and respecting all the rules that they have on the campuses. Anyone have a question? Then, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, on the consent agenda, there's many items there. One action will approve all items on the consent agenda. There are some purchases. If you have a question, we can pull any item out of the consent agenda. But one motion will approve all items on the consent agenda, and there's a lot of things. Again, as I mentioned, there's some minutes to meetings. There's purchases, and then there's some other items. If you look, for example, on G 1, 2, 3, again, these are items even all the way up to 4. Items that are substantial value that are purchases. So if you have any questions on any one of them, they can be pulled out and somebody can answer your question. If there's no question, then I will entertain a motion for the consent agenda. But before we do that, we always read the donations and again acknowledge the people that have donated items to our district. And I'll turn it over to our secretary, Mrs. Webb.
Life Touch Studios and Shutterfly, $2,056.70 Del Rio High School. Chick-fil-A, $129 to Robert Barrera Elementary. Riverside Custom Homes, $500 to Garfield Elementary. Lozano Chase, 5 dozen donuts with a total estimate value of $65 for Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary. Nicole Sauceda, ice cream for staff with a total estimated value of $30 to Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary. AR Frontier Services, white and pink shirts with a total estimate value of $750, Del Rio High School. Star Career Training Incorporated, miscellaneous items with a total estimated value of $300, Del Rio High School. Amistad Snacks, 1,000 styrofoam cups with a total estimated value of $53. San Felipe Del Rio CISD, Employee and Benefit Support Service. Home Depot, Del Rio, number 6832, 70 gallons of adhesive with a total estimate value of $1,643. San Felipe Del Rio CISD Maintenance Department. Francis Fierro, cheese cans with a total estimated value of $10, Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary. Nicole Sauceda, Gracielda Guajardo, Erica Guerrero, Nicole Delgado, and Velma Garza, sodas and chips for the estimated value of $26, Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary staff. Angelita Frega, chips and sweet treats with a total estimated value of $30, Dr. Fermin Calderon. Mrs. Liz Overfeld and Ms. Perez, 2 cases of soda with a total estimated value of $8.31, Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary. Lozano Chase, agua fresca de melón, cups, straws, chicharrones, and salsa with an estimated value of $60, Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary. T-38 hangar, 2-day shift crew, games for after-school tutorial celebration with an estimated value of $52, Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary. Matt Long, 1 Kewich piano, serial number 320828, with a total estimated value of $2,000 to Bobby Barrera Elementary. Tila Segura, doormat door prize with a total estimated value of $40, Del Rio High School. Marcy Certuche, case design gift basket with a total estimated value of $55, Del Rio High School. Zapata Unlimited Necklace and Earring Set with a total estimated value of $45, Del Rio High School. Banco Internacional de Alimentos, Marco Noodles, Lysol Multipurpose Antibacterial Cleaners, and Germs with a total estimated value of $2,422.06, Dr. Irene Cardwell Elementary. Money Concepts, 20 Easter baskets with a total estimated value of $25, Irene Cardwell Elementary. 47th Student Squadron, 75 Easter baskets with a total estimated value of $299.88, Irene Cardwell Elementary. Starbucks, 3 Coffee Travelers with a total estimated value of $80, Irene Cardwell Elementary. Wright's Steakhouse gift cards with a total value of $150, Del Rio High School for Teacher Appreciation. Border Chick Boutique, 2 gift cards with a total value of $40, Del Rio High School for Teacher Appreciation. Sonic Drive-In, 5 gift cards with a total value of $19, Del Rio High School for Teacher Appreciation. Sonic Drive-In, 5 gift cards for a total value of $50, Del Rio High School for Teacher Appreciation. Joe Villarreal, 1 gift card with a total value of $50, Del Rio High School for Teacher Appreciation. Chili's, 1 gift card with a total value of $25, Del Rio High School for Teacher Appreciation. Cowboy John's, 1 gift card with a total of $30, Del Rio High School for Teacher Appreciation. Rudy's Barbecue, 1 gift card for a total of $25, Del Rio High School Teacher Appreciation. Memes Clean Kitchen, 2 gift cards with a total of $50, Del Rio High School for Teacher Appreciation. Skillets, 10 gift cards with a total value of $80, Del Rio High School for Teacher Appreciation. H-E-B Snacks with a total estimated value of $110, San Felipe Del Rio CISD 5K Teacher Appreciation Run. Border Chick Boutique, 2 gift cards with a total value of $40, Del Rio High School for Teacher Appreciation.
We take the time to read the donations to acknowledge the people that have donated. And so we thank them, again, businesses and private individuals, for all the programs that benefit from the donations. We appreciate each and every one of the businesses and individuals. Thank you again for supporting our district and our different programs that we offer throughout the district. Any questions on the consent agenda? As I mentioned, we take 1 vote for all items unless any item that needs to be pulled out, either for a question. Mr. Galindo?
I just have a question in reference to item G2, G3, the consideration for the amount of $15,500 and for the Premier Speakers Bureau. And I just kind of wanted a little bit more information on that.
Okay.
As far as, I mean, I'm all for motivational speaking. It's just looking at it, it was $15,500 for 1 hour. And I've looked it up. I've seen that he has great reviews. He's done South San ISD and other large districts. Just kind of want to elaborate a little bit on that and how this came about, just because it's a large purchase for 1 hour. And I get that's all included, but how did that come about? Or something that was asked for, that way we can provide the teachers, which I'm all for, but how did it come about so we know?
Item G3, consideration to approve a contract over $5,000 with Premier Speakers Bureau in the amount of $15,500, all inclusive. Funding source 181 Curriculum Instruction. Ida Gomez.
Mr. Mesa, I'll speak to that. Every year, we haven't been able to because of COVID, but every year we gather all of our teachers at the beginning of the school year in the gymnasium. So these speakers are speakers that unless our teachers went to conferences, they wouldn't be able to hear them. But we put everybody together. We have one huge motivational time to kick off the school year. And we've done this for probably forever, even before I was superintendent. Only difference is this time we moved it to the gymnasium instead of having it at the Civic Center.
Yes, sir. And I understand, like I said, the convocation, I know y'all have had it for years. Just, has there always been a speaker at these events previously? And then just so that way I'm aware, I mean, if it's something that's common that we've spent that commonly or spent that amount to bring a speaker in every year like that?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's a very difficult item because I know that I suggested one of the speakers from a conference that I went to, and it was outrageous. The amount was like 30,000.
And that's why I was saying, like, I'm all for it. Like, let's motivate the teachers. Just looking at it for the first time, and I was like, but, if it gets the teachers going and then gets them set for the year, I'm all for it.
Yes.
I just wanted a little bit more elaboration on that. Thank
I'm
you.
glad, I'm glad you asked. And again, for the new board members out, every year we try to purchase a couple of buses to replace our old ones, and you'll see that on item F1. If there's no other questions, I don't see any other hands raised, then I'll ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion made by Mr. Overfeld, seconded by Mrs. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. We go on to item 15A, consideration, technology and operations. Consideration to approve change order with Field Turf USA Incorporated in the amount of $50,517. Funding source, committed funds for additional turf replacement at the Del Rio High School Ram Stadium Artificial Turf Replacement Project. Israel Carrera.
Mr. Mesa, I'll ask Mr. Carrera to read the recommendation, but I'll speak to it.
Okay.
When we discussed doing the turf at Del Rio, Walter Liverman Stadium, we bid the item out and we included the replacement of the turf, and we included the replacement of the turf behind the east goalpost as an option. We were gonna do only the main football field, but we are gonna do it for 10 years, and the color is gonna be different. So it's gonna be a stark difference in the color, and that back side of the field is also used for working out. So I shared with the board in an update a few months ago that we would be bringing this change order so that then we could do 100% of the turf field, so that it would look identical, and also so that our teams, whether it's football or soccer, anybody is also able to use that turf for years to come. Also, the turf that we're removing from that field is going to be the turf that we use at the indoor-outdoor weight room that we'll be constructing over the summer. So it provides for continued use. I don't know if there's any additional questions beyond that explanation.
Anyone else have a question? Okay. I know you had mentioned that there was an item or an area that had not been covered with the last purchase. Okay, if no other questions, then I'll ask for the recommendation from administration.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the change order with Field Turf USA Incorporated in the amount of $50,517 for the artificial turf not included in the original bid invitation at Del Rio High School Ram Stadium.
You've heard the recommendation from administration. Is there a motion for approval? Motion made by Mrs. Webb, seconded by Becky Chavez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Next item we have is item 15B, consideration and possible action authorizing the superintendent of schools to sign a memorandum of understanding, MOU, with Alberti County, allowing county equipment to be utilized by district staff on district-owned property. Israel Carrera.
Again, I'll speak to this item, and then I'll ask Mr. Carrera to help me with the reading of the recommendation. We're real excited and pleased with the cooperation that has continued since the pandemic with both the city and the county. We're planning on doing the indoor-outdoor weight room with mainly with district staff over the summer. But in order to do that, we would have to rent heavy equipment. The judge and the commissioner's court have graciously offered their equipment in the past, and we want to take them up on it this time. It'll probably present a total savings of $15,000 in rental fees for renting that equipment. The Judge Owens shared an MOU, and I had your legal counsel, the general counsel, review the MOU, and they gave it their blessing to present to the board for approval.
This is it, right?
Yes, it's the MOU's on your desks, because we hadn't had it finalized until this morning.
Does anyone have a question? Okay. Recommendation.
It is the recommendation that the Board of Trustees approve the superintendent to memorandum of understanding with Alberti County for the use of construction equipment as district-owned property.
You've heard the recommendation from administration. I'll entertain the motion for approval. Motion made by Ms. Gonzalez, seconded by Mr. Galindo. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Next item we have is item 16, Business and Finance. Consideration to approve the submittal of the 2022 Seamless Summer Option, SSO, application. Amy Childress.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. The Texas Health and Human Services Commission requires the operation of a summer food service program by school districts in which 50% or more of the area children are eligible for free or reduced priced meals in the National School Breakfast or Lunch Program during the regular school year. Since more than 50% of our district students are eligible for free or reduced meals during the school year, we are mandated by law to participate in a summer food service program. So at this time, we are asking to approve the submittal of the 2022 Seamless Summer Option application. And we did provide a listing of the campuses and the meal times that will be served during the summer.
Any questions? Okay.
Okay?
No questions or recommendation?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the submittal of the Seamless Summer Option Food Service Program application.
Thank you very much. You've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion for approval? Amy Hayes made the motion, seconded by Mr. Galindo. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
Mesa,
you. Yes, sir.
there was one correction that I failed to mention before. It's not, doesn't require new action on the board, but I just wanted to be clear about it. The funding for the, let me go back and look at this one. The funding for item 15A, here it says committed funds, but it's not committed funds. It's funds from this year's budget for the replacement of the turf. Is that correct, Mr. Carrera? Yes. So anyway, it's just different funding source.
Okay, so there is a correction there.
Yes, sir. But that's just for clarification. It wasn't part of the,
Okay.
the recommendation.
Okay. Everyone understand that, right? Because we do have a listing of the committed funds and the projects that they're targeted for on another page. We have this one.
Yes, sir. That's the next item that I'm saying.
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Childers is going to present.
Okay, we go on to the next item, 16B, consideration to approve modification of the 2021-2022 general fund balance commitments. Amy Childers.
Good evening once again, and yes, you do have an updated board memo for this item. The Del Rio Freshman Restroom Project, which was funded by committed funds, has been completed, and there are funds available in the amount of $192,207.60 to be utilized for other projects. Administration would like to request that the available committed funds be repurposed for the projects that are listed below. We have the Del Rio Freshman Life Skills Building for $78,857.60. We have the Old Garfield demolition for $53,350. The Buena Vista Restrooms Project for $30,000, and the Del Rio High School Outdoor Gym for $30,000.
Okay, questions? You've got some explanation there on page 248, which, again, adds to the life skills project.
That's actually the part that's being corrected. That was from an old memo. So,
Any questions? I think all of us know this. No questions, so
okay.
the recommendation, please.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the modification of the 2021-2022 general fund balance commitments as discussed.
You've heard the recommendation. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Motion made by Mrs. Webb, seconded by Becky Chavez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item 16C, consideration to approve a contract over $5,000 and purchase order over $25,000 with JDP Environmental and Demolition Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $53,350, RFP 22-11, funding source committed funds for the old Garfield demolition.
Good evening once again, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. Now that you have approved the commitment of the repurpose of the committed funds in the prior item, we would like, this is the consideration to approve the contract and the PO over 25 with JDP Environmental Demolition for the demolition of the old Garfield buildings.
Dr. Rios, you want to remind us again what the old part of the Garfield would be?
Yes, Mr. Mesa. Previously, we had considered demolishing most of Garfield. Since then, we did some, some exploratory work there, and we determined that the main building would best be used as a storage building, and that the cafeteria would best be used as a textbook storage, and that we should then sell off other properties that we're no longer using and are not cost effective to maintain, such as Wagon Wheel. As such, all we want to demolish is the portable buildings, which include the building that used to be used as a library and the two portable buildings directly behind it. There is another portable building at the south end of the property. That portable building has been requested by the county. They will take charge of removing that building. All of the buildings have been abated for asbestos and are ready to be demolished.
Questions from board members? Mr. Orfeld?
Dr. Rios, I thought back when we were first talking about demoing the main building, which I guess is the cafeteria and all of that, I seem to recall it was said that it was becoming structurally unsound. So now we're saying we're not going to bulldoze that, use it for storage or whatnot. Have we reevaluated the structural soundness of the building? I guess that's the question is, at one point we were saying it was structurally unsound, so it needed to come down.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what we did. The last report that we had on paper was that the roof had caved in. And we did some exploratory work, and that was true. The roof had caved in. But what wasn't in the report was that the district had installed a new roof on it. So we got on the roof. I don't climb roofs, but that day I did. We walked through the building. It does need a little bit of patchwork, but the framing is new, and it's a sound roof. We believe that it is a solid building.
Okay, so structurally the columns and everything else
Yes,
are good, because I know, like Old North Heights, it was literally starting to fail. We're not at that point over there.
No, sir.
Just need roofing.
Old North Heights, unfortunately, was a two-story building, and that was dangerous.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Recommendation, please.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the contract over $5,000 and purchase order over $25,000 and allow the superintendent to sign the contract with JDP Environmental and Demolition Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $53,350 for the old Garfield demolition.
You've heard the recommendation from administration. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Motion made by Mr. Orfeld, seconded by Mr. Alindo. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
You did vote, right, Mr. Alindo? You did, okay.
Thank you.
We go on to item 17, item D, 16D, consideration to approve submittal of the Head Start Cost of Living Application Grant, application in the amount of $56,897, and Quality Improvement Grant application in the amount of $18,007, with the non-federal source of 0.0 for a total of $74,904 to Region 6 Head Start Office, Amy Childers and Dr. Alana Talamantes. Elizondo.
Good evening, members of the board, School Board President, Mr. Mesa, Dr. Rios, Superintendent of Schools. Tonight, I, Alana Talamantes, Principal of Irene C. Cardwell Head Start and Pre-K, come before you to review the application of submission of the COLA and Quality Improvement Grant. For the supplemental grant, the funding type for the cost of living adjustment, the COLA, funding level is $56,897 for a funded federal enrollment of 346. The Quality Improvement Grant is $18,007 with a total funding of $74,904 with our funded federal enrollment of 346 students for Head Start.
Questions from board members? Again, Dr. Talamantes, all these additional funds will be utilized for salaries.
Yes, for salaries and fringe benefits.
And what?
Then the fringe benefits.
Fringe benefits, okay. And this is an annual continuance
Of the COLA and
application.
the Quality Improvement Grant, yes.
Okay. Any questions? Recommendation?
I can proceed with the recommendation. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the submittal of the attached application for the Head Start COLA and Quality Improvement Grant for the 2022-2023 fiscal year to be submitted to the appropriate Head Start headquarters as presented and authorized by Mr. Raymond de Mesa, San Felipe Del Rio, CISD, Board President to sign.
You've heard the recommendation. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Motion made by Mrs. Webb, seconded by Mrs. Chavez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, item 17, Human Resources, discussion possible action to approve employee job descriptions and evaluation forms. Aide Garcia.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, members of the board. Tonight, we are recommending the 3 job descriptions that Mr. Mesa mentioned. The first one is our Dean of Instruction, and this is just an update. The updates that we're including here is T-Test Certified Preferred, and we're changing 5 years classroom teaching experience to 3 years. This is in order to correlate with our principal requirement as well as the assistant principal. And the other change is number 15, administer evaluations for the professional instructional staff. Any questions on the job description for Dean of Instruction?
Anyone? Mr. Orfeld?
It's just an opinion, and I've expressed it before many, many years ago. I think for principal, AP, and anything higher, it needs to be more than 3 years classroom experience, because you can come in, teach, get your master's in that time frame, and then immediately become an AP or a principal and whatnot. I just think it requires more time in the classroom before moving up. But that's just my opinion. I know TASB's back and forth between 3 and 5.
Our goal is to stay in line with TASB's recommendations. Unfortunately, when we create those type of requirements, you might have somebody that comes in from outside of the district where they've had a whole lot of experience being a principal or an assistant principal, but for whatever reason, they only taught 3 years. And so then we limit ourselves in not being able to hire them because of that. But we do look at, during the interview process, we do look at the overall teaching experience and try to balance that with the overall skills and abilities of the principal. So we recommend that it say 3 years just so that we can be open to hiring different people with different experiences, but we do consider the knowledge of the teachers as they apply to move up.
And I just want to, for the new board members, there's currently a committee that has been put together to find what's going on with teacher shortage. It's hard to find teachers nowadays, and so the committee is made up of a member of the Texas State Board of Education, and then some teachers as well, because before the committee did not include teachers, and so they're doing a survey as to why either people are not coming into the profession, or a lot of people have retired early, and so we're experiencing a high volume of people that have left the profession of teaching, and they're not going, the new people that are coming in are not choosing teaching as a profession as they used to before. So we're experiencing somewhat of a shortage of teachers. And so this committee was put together to find out how we can make some improvement to bring additional personnel into the profession. And you might want to read a good article in the San Antonio Express that a lot of times, teachers leave their profession because they do not receive compensation for the many years that they've taught, but there's a teacher incentive allotment program that will be coming into our district here soon to be able to compensate teachers that do an excellent job, that are master teachers, and their salary can increase to a six-figure amount, like $125,000 instead of $60,000 forever. So it's going to be better in the coming years. The only thing is we do have a shortage again of teachers. With that being said, I'll go on to the next item, Mrs. Gerson.
Yes, President Mesa. The next job description, we label it as new and updated because it is new as far as for the next school year, and this is something that is going to be proposed during the budget process. Right now, we're only approving the job description, and this is for the Director of Fine Arts. The changes, because this used to be a job description that we've had in the past, so we included on master's degree, we changed it to preferred, and then for knowledge and fine arts program, before it was noticed as preferred, and we made that a requirement. And those were the only changes on this job description. And again, tonight we're just asking you to approve the job descriptions, and this will not be brought to you for approval until the budget season.
Dr. Rios, I know you wanted to add a footnote.
Yes, Mr. Mesa, the board will recall when the previous fine arts director retired, it's probably been 4 or 5 years. At the time, the district was looking to see how we could cut on personnel. But even since then, the scope of our fine arts program has grown, and we would like to bring that director position back. And we do believe that when we present the budget to the board, you'll see that even though there's still some constraints, it could be absorbed with other reductions. That's why we're bringing it to y'all.
Any questions on that particular job description?
Any
Okay,
questions from anyone?
The final job description that we're asking for recommendation tonight is the tutor position. Because of ESSER, now we do hire tutors for the entire school year. So these individuals do qualify for benefits, and therefore we also need to evaluate them. Now, this job description, it is new, and I just do want to make it clear that this job description is not tied to the compensation pay plan, meaning that the compensation pay plan lists as the pay for tutors depending on their education. So if a teacher, a retired teacher, is going to tutor and they're certified in the area that they're tutoring, then they can get paid higher than someone with only a bachelor's degree or someone with an associate degree. Any questions on this job description?
So these are part-time.
Right, it's for the school year. They're usually hired just for the school year.
When we say the school year, it doesn't, there's no contract.
There's no contract, no, sir.
No, sir, there's no contract, but when we say part-time, it could be the entire school day, depending on the needs of the campuses.
I'm trying to understand that. Okay. Anyone else? Mr. Galindo?
Ms. Garcia, I know you mentioned it's not tied to the compensation plan, but is there going to be a scale that y'all are going to use to be able to tier out what kind of pay you're going to give them that'll be included in the budget for this year?
Yes, sir, and that is already included in our compensation pay plan.
Okay.
So it's already listed on there, and usually we do bring our compensation pay plan anytime that there's a change.
Okay.
But this month, there was not a change to our compensation pay plan.
Thank you.
Theoretically, it could be a retired teacher. However, if I may just pose a question to Ms. Garcia, just for clarification. Because there's benefits and compensation attached to this position, if a retired teacher was to do it more than part-time, okay, the district would still incur the penalty from the state. But if a retired teacher did this job only part-time, then we would not incur the penalty from the state.
You are correct.
So this is a perfect place to hire retired teachers.
Yes.
That's why I was somewhat confused, because if you hired them all year,
Well, we can hire them all year, but part-time.
Less than 40 hours a week.
Less than 40 hours, so that they don't get penalized, and we don't get penalized.
okay.
So that could be a retired teacher, and she only works 20 hours a week, and I could be not retired and work 40 hours a week.
Okay. So there is hope for the retired teachers.
Yes, sir, yes.
Ms. Webb?
But for the benefit of approving this one only indicates high school diploma or GED and 60 hours. So this is not making reference to retired teachers. This is for hiring other tutors that have just a GED or high school or 60 hours.
No, ma'am.
Well, that's what it says
Let
here.
me flip to it.
This
Sorry.
is the minimum requirement.
So it's a minimum.
It's the minimum.
And then you'd go on a tier, basically.
Yeah, again, that's the minimum qualifications. But as your qualifications go up, the pay plan indicates higher compensation.
Okay, I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, yeah. It's not exclusive for those people with those minimum qualifications.
Okay, everybody write that down, please. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we're
Ready for the recommendation? Okay. It is a recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the employee job description evaluations forms as discussed.
You've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion for approval? Mr. Galindo, is there a second to the motion? Ms. Webb, all those in favor? Motion carries. Mr. Orfeld? Yeah, unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll go on to item 17B, consideration to approve the Memorandum of Understanding between San Felipe Del Rio CISD, and Soares State University. Aide Garcia.
President Mesa, in your dais, we included a copy of the Memorandum of Understanding with Sol Ross. And what we're asking for is to continue the partnership that we have established with Sol Ross for the principal cohort. Last year, we started this, and it is a partial grant. So the teachers that apply to this master's program to acquire their principal certification, they pay for the tuition themselves, but they do get a discount of $1,000. And then we partnership with Sol Ross. The district pays textbooks. We pay for the test fees and certification. Sol Ross pays for a mentor, and the district also provides for a planning period for them to work on their internship. So we do want to continue this partnership, and tonight we're bringing this Memorandum of Understanding to you for approval. Any questions?
Questions? Okay, this is an annual thing that we do. No questions, so recommendation again.
Yes, sir. It is a recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the Memorandum of Understanding between San Felipe Del Rio CISD, Sol Ross University, and for Dr. Rios, Superintendent of School, to sign the Memorandum of Understanding as presented.
Thank you very much. You've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion for approval? Motion made by Mr. Orfeld, seconded by Mrs. Webb. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
We go on to item 7, closed session pursuant to Texas State Code 551.071 of the personnel matters and 551.071 consultation with attorney. We will go into closed session. The time is 8:00 p.m. No action will be taken in executive. If there's a improvement needed for any item on the closed agenda, it will be taken upon reconvening into open session. We are now in closed session. Okay, the time is 10 p.m. We're reconvening into open session. No action was taken in executive. We're down to item 21A. Discussion and possible action of personnel report. Aide Garcia.
Good evening again, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, members of the board. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the resignations, vacancies, and following new personnel. Dionisia Williams, first grade teacher, Buena Vista Elementary. Dunia Herrera Estrada, second grade bilingual teacher, Buena Vista Elementary. Taylor Gomez, first grade teacher, Ruben Chavira Elementary. Alexis Atkinson, special education teacher, Del Rio Middle School. Christy Signal, CTE business technology teacher for Del Rio Middle School. Francisco Lopez, MAPS teacher for Blended Academy. And Albert Flores, CTE Trades and Industrial Education electrical teacher for the CTE Center.
You've heard the recommendation from administration. Is there a motion for approval? Motion made by Amy Haynes, seconded by Mrs. Gonzalez. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. There being no other items on the agenda, is there a motion for adjournment? Motion made by Amy, seconded by Mr. Orfeld. All those in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Motion carries unanimously.